Hey, Battle Bill here with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you 2 teams to try in the Ultra Fantasy Cup meta. Yes, you heard it here right. The metas have just changed in the Go Battle League, and today, probably about an hour or so after or before this video has come out, we will be seeing the Ultra Fantasy Cup meta again, and this meta consists of the Dragon, Fairy, and Steel typing with 2 bands of Cobalion and Galarian Sunfisk. In this video, I'm going to show you 2 teams you can run for some success in this meta. First one, starting off the video right, is going to be the most meta team and specifically the most meta core of Pokemon that you can run in these Fantasy Cup battles, that being Registeel, Tapu Fini, and pick any third Pokemon that you'd like. Once you throw them into the PV Poke team builder, you put Tapu Fini, Registeel there, you think you're a genius team builder because every single category listed there goes A, and you feel so smart. But it's just the typical Yasser lead way of top 3 PV Poke, except with these 2, and then pick your third. Regardless, I decided to go with Flygon on this team because if you want to go meta, you want to have some success, this will be a very good team for you. And I like Flygon specifically because it can hit each of the 3 typings in this meta for either neutral or super effective damage. Hitting Steels for super effective, hitting Dragons for super effective, and then hitting Fairies with the good neutral damage with a move like Earth Power here. So I've got a collection of battles before the meta dropped against some of my Twitch viewers. If you ever want to be a part of this early content, link to my Twitch stream is in the bio of this video. Regardless, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's start commentating these battles. So we've got Flygon Earth powering a Magnezone there. Bang, one shot, it's gone. Get into the next match. We got Flygon up against a Giratina Altered. We need to play this matchup carefully. We do technically outpace the Dragon Claws, but Flygon cannot tank them as well as Giratina Altered can. So we're going to spam them ASAP, and the Giratina Altered's also going to build up to their own Dragon Claws here. So we get off a second one there. We're seeing if our opponent's going to throw back-to-back, or if they're going to want to decide to throw on proper move timing. They get the first Dragon Claw. We did one more mud shot to see if they went for proper move timing. They decided that they'd rather just throw it back-to-back instead, and with that we could have potentially caught on our Tapu Fini, but with that lesson learned there, we're going to throw another Dragon Claw. We're going to do one more mud shot, and then we're going to swap the Tapu Fini, and bang, what a beautiful catch. It's almost like I predicted it. I'm 5-head. I'm so good this game now that I've hit the legend rank. Solid catch by me, but that does not mean we are winning this match. The opponent then comes in with their own Clefable running Charm instead of Fairy Wind. Very interesting choice there. Charm is still a very viable fast Fairy move because of how much damage it can deal and how oppressive it can be. We land a Moonblast there. We're in an even shielding scenario. I don't think I want to use a shield here. I'm cool with coming in and farming this Clefable all the way down with my Registeel. The Moonblast put it at the perfect health with some Water Guns to lock on farm all the way down with our Registeel, and this match is all but over. They come with an Excadrill, which would typically be a counter to Registeel, but because of the pure fact that we ended up with all that lock on farm, we're sitting in good positioning. We swap to our Flygon, they pivot back to their Giratina. We get the Dragon Claw off, hoping to overfarm the right amount to get to an Earth Power. We just fall short, but we have a shield advantage here, and Registeel can tank a Drill Run in the Ultra League 2500 CP level. So we eat one Drill Run there, we build all the way up to the Focus Blast. We just fall short, the opponent gets to another Drill Run, and then we're going to get off our Focus Blast. That is going to one-shot the Excadrill's remaining health, and that is going to be GG's to my opponent in this one. Bang! You love to see it. Okay, getting to our third match, we've got Flygon going up against Celesteela. This was an interesting choice by one of my chatters, but you know what? This Pokemon perfectly walls Flygon. So we got to swap out. We catch on our Tapu Fini. Celesteela gets access to the fast move of Air Slash with charge moves of Body Slam and Bulldoze. And also, as you'll notice, I'm going to have 2 teams. I didn't feel like inputting all the IVs and all the moves below, but Flygon, if you haven't noticed already, is running the typical moveset of the fast move of Mud Shot with charge moves of Dragon Claw and the Community Day move of Earth Power. So if you didn't play that Community Day, you need to Elite TM, and that is a very necessary charge move on your Flygon. Registeel's running its usual fast move of Lock On, and then charge moves of Focus Blast and Legacy move Zap Cannon. And then Tapu Fini is also running its typical moveset of Water Gun fast move, and then Surf and Moonblast as its charge moves. This match not going so hot for me because alignment is not going well. We come into the Registeel hoping to catch something, but regardless, even if the Celesteela decided to stay in, it would have been able to bulldoze our Registeel pretty okayly. It wasn't going to hit that hard. But regardless, this Registeel is not going to be able to 1v2 the opponent's remaining mons because Dragalge is coming in to match the Registeel, and the Dragalge is going to resist a lot of the damage we throw, whether it be Focus Blast resisted because of the poison typing, or Zap Cannon resisted because of Dragalge's dragon typing. So now we also resist a bunch of Dragalge's damage, but the Aqua Tails are slowly adding up. Thankfully, the Zap Cannons are also starting to hit. What we really need here to pull off this match is a potential catch. So we shield up the first Aqua Tail. We're going for another Zap Cannon. We also want a Wombo combo play here. We're going to hopefully get the last shields. We do not. It gets the Dragalge low. We still go for the Wombo combo, but our opponent expects it and swaps into their Celesteela to catch the resisted dragon damage as that happens. And this is essentially GG's. This wasn't a Go Battle League match, so I should have top lefted, and I should have still top lefted regardless of this not being a Go Battle League match. But I don't. I decided to shield this too and just maximum overdrive, overplay the hell out of this matchup for no reason, because this match is long over. As we're sitting here waiting for this match to play out, any Pokemon you're looking forward to testing out in some Fantasy Cup battles? I have a team, the second team that you're going to see in this video, that I'm thoroughly very excited to use in some actual Go Battle League battles. It's definitely one a fun team, then, you know, a little bit more spice than the generic Metamons that we got going on here. You'll see it after this next one. We got 4 battles with each team. Getting into the next one, we've got Flygon up against Giratina. Positive, not positive lead. We know how this one plays out because of how our first lead played, so we got to be careful on potentially trying to catch a Dragon Claw onto our Tapu Fini or end up eating both Dragon Claws onto our Flygon. So we're gonna let one charge move come through here. We want to eat one, see how much damage it does a good chunk of us, and then we gotta let another one come through. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna shield that up. We're hoping to overfarm here to get their first shield because, you know, we don't want to leave this situation at a shield disadvantage and give up alignment. And then we're gonna try our best to catch again there. But for some reason, as I filtered Dragon Claw, I wasn't able to get to my Tapu Fini. I have zero idea why I clicked it and it didn't register. Regardless, we let Flygon go down there, and we're gonna go for a water gun down of the Giratina, hoping this energy will prove us valuable to our opponent's back line. So they end up getting off a little bit of damage on us. They also come in with their own Clefable. This one has Fairy Wind on it, unlike the Charm user of Clefable in the previous match. But regardless, we pull off a fantastic catch here with them over farming because, you know, Fairy Wind is quite a spammy move. Will this be a potential game changer to the match? No. They come in with Excavalier, and we've essentially just got bad alignment here. What we would have needed is to essentially win the lead, which Flygon does not do, even with it outpacing, because Giratina can tank the Dragon Claws as well as it can, and Flygon cannot, and we do not get to put the opponent's Excavalier on our Tapu Fini, and then their Clefable on our Registeel. So essentially that lead matchup determined the rest of this match, and that is going to be GG's for this game here. But we're still going to play it out as much as we can, and we're getting quite close. We have to let this come through because the Excavalier is debuffed, so this match is still kind of close, but our opponent recognizes that they're dealing debuff damage, so they got to swap out and clear the attack debuff. Finally, we get off the Moonblast, bang, takes out the Clefable. Can we water gun down before we get countered down? Unfortunately, no. 1 HP. They hold on. Getting into team number 2 here, we have a much more fun collection of Pokemon consisting of a Genesect double fairy strat. And now, before I go into details about this, my first match running this team had a bunch of fun because the charge move of Fire Technoblast is going to be your charge move of choice in this meta if you decide to run Genesect, and my opponent was just not expecting the double super effective damage to hit the Excavalier, hit the Ferrothorn in the beginning, and then at this point the opponent is just giving up, so we're going to spam another onto the Slurpluff at the end. This is not going to one-shot that, but it one-shotted the other two Pokemon, and boy, was that an exciting sight to see. Now, one other thing to know, X-Scissor is not the other charge move of choice that you want to run for your Genesect. In this meta, you want to run Fury Cutter as a fast move, Magnet Bomb as the other charge move, and then Fire Technoblast as your 3 moves. We've got this on a double fairy strat with Galarian Weezing running Fairy Wind, Play Rough, and Overheat, and Slurpluff running Fairy Wind, Flamethrower, and play rough. Now, I love this team because my favorite parts of it is it's a steel double fairy strat, which means it does really good against dragons, and every single one of these Pokemon has a fire charge move to hit the very prevalent steel types throughout this meta. So I feel like this team is like one of the most diverse teams that you can run on a team comp-wise for some Fantasy Cup battles in terms of just making sure everything is covered, and I feel like that's the best way to have success when preparing to do some Go Battle League battles. So let's get into commentating them now that I've explained the team. We've got our Genesect popping off as it did in the previous match. I don't even know what happened exactly in this situation. All I know is Excavalier's back. We're going for the Fire Technoblast. Will we get the first shield, or will we see a beautiful one shot? No, we get the first shield, but this is okay because we're going to get off another one of these. We're going to have to expend a shield, which is totally fine by me, but the next one will either take out the Excavalier or get their last shield. Let's see if it lands. I love when this move hits. Bang! It does the remaining health, and their last Pokemon is their own Galarian Weezing. So they have a 1 Fairy Wind advantage because I had to swap in. You have to be very careful in this matchup because of the fact that, you know, they're both Galarian Weezings are poison types. Throwing the fairy damage is going to be resisted, but if you throw the overheat too early or it gets shielded, then you're going to debuff yourself and not land maximum damage that you need to land in order to win this mirror matchup. So they're going off another charge move here. We decide to shield. It ends up being a play rough. We essentially get baited, which is super unfortunate. We're gonna go for our own play rough in hopes that we can get their last shield. Also, we do, but we're gonna get outpaced. They're gonna get to that overheat before us, and this feels like the writing on the wall. Shout out to Home Slice Henry, but the Genesect is going to hold on because the Fairy Winds are insanely debuffed. They're not gonna get to the move, and we get to a nice, super effective Magnet Bomb because of Galarian Weezing's fairy typing, and we just win that battle by the slimmest of margins. You love a good old 1 HP and a dream. Getting to the next one, we've got Genesect on Magnezone here, and basically same thing. We want to land that Fire Technoblast, want to land Technoblast after Technoblast after Technoblast, but we are worried about them wild charging and dipping and landing a wild charge here. So then they swap into their own Giratina Origin, and we match it with, you know, our fairy type. But we swapped a little late because I completely forgot I was running double fairy mons, and also what I had to keep in mind is, you know, which fairy would be a better option for the circumstances. But they're very similar fairies. Galarian Weezing is just better in the back because of the fact that it has overheat over flamethrower. So honestly, now that I'm getting used to the team, I would want to go into Slurpuff just a lot faster considering the circumstances. We end up using both of our shields. We want to keep alignment. We want to land a Fire Technoblast onto that Magnezone. We bang one shot the Giratina Origins health. We're hoping we can get to the Flamethrower in time, and we just barely do. So expending that shield ended up being worth it because we throw this Flamethrower, we get that Magnezone's last shield, and now we're going to want to come with our Genesect, and we expected them to swap just like they did. I make a little bit of a misplay there. I stay in, over farm a bunch, and then don't throw any of the damage, so I'm not helping out my Galarian Weezing. I'm setting it up for failure. But the Genesect is still locked and loaded in the back to potentially pick up any of the work or any of the job that the Galarian Weezing can't get done here. Also, one other thing I learned that we're going to see very shortly in this match is just how high Genesect's attack stat is. So, Galarian Weezing goes down, we go for the Magnet Bomb, we built up enough energy so we could throw this and then a Fire Technoblast back to back, and now, that also didn't take out, so we got a little Fury Cutter energy in. Magnezone comes in. It wasn't denial. Genesect has a higher attack stat than Magnezone, and I think that's actually insane just because Magnezone is seen as like one of the glassiest cannons in the game. Turns out Genesect even outdoes it in that regard. Getting to the next matchup, we've got some sort of triple dragon team coming at us here. We don't win lead. It's a weird lead, so we swap out to potentially lure out a steel type, and then what happens is they match us with the dark dragon type of Guzzlord, and the Guzzlord was running Sludge Bomb. My chatters are trying to catch me lacking. Thankfully, Sludge Bomb does not hit that hard, but because of it, we now have to be weary of it. We get Brutal Swing baited after the Sludge Bomb already landed. We're trying to overfarm. We're trying to throw on proper timing. We're going to throw our Play Rough here. This will run one shot the Guzzlord's remaining health if it lands. It does not land. Our opponent was hoping to get to another charge move here, but they do not. We're going for another Play Rough. Bang, take out the Guzzlord. The Dragonite comes in, and now based on the way that this is all going, it feels like this is going to be GG's, and the reason why we recognize this as some form of triple dragon stat comp before they even come in with their last dragon here is because the fact we bring in a fairy and they match us with a dragon. It's the only thing that maths there. But regardless, there's the last dragon, and it ends up being a Dragalge. Genesect, oddly enough, really does not have much play against, you know, much of these Pokemon here, but we land the Magnet Bomb. We do about half of the Dragalge's remaining health. They're going to get off another Aqua Tail. Can Genesect hold on to get to the Magnet Bomb? It does not. So this is going to come down to G-Weezing clutching up. Basically, all I need to do here is build up to like 2 Play Roughs. Also, make sure that they do not land a Sludge Wave, because that is a move Dragalge has. Usually, they're running Aqua Tail, and then I think, Outrage is the Dragon move. But on the off chance, my opponent already caught me lacking with a Sludge Bomb, so we had to get that Play Rough off there. And then bang, back-to-back Play Roughs. Dragonite goes down, getting into the next match. So yeah, once we see a Dragonite lead, we just want to save swap into Slurpluff to potentially lure out the Steel types and do exactly this and see how this matchup plays out. Registeel versus Slurpluff is actually way better than you'd expect, considering you're a Fairy going up against a Steel type. But being able to spam those Fire Charge moves because of the fast move of Fairy Winds is huge. We can even let a Zap Cannon come through. Registeels might want to even start considering running Flash Cannon so they can hit those Fairies for that super effective damage. We get off another Flamethrower, bang, doesn't do enough damage, especially because we're debuffed, but we just barely fall short on outpacing them on that charge move. So we're feeling like, especially because they went for a Zap Cannon there and they didn't get the debuff, which stinks for them, that we're going to now be able to outpace them to 2 Flamethrowers, essentially, meaning this one will get a shield, and then we're going to get to another one right there before they get off the charge move. Hopefully either make them waste a shield or get both of their shields, and then potentially even flip switch. The opponent recognizes this, so they pivot back into their Giratina Altered. We go back in, we go into our Galarian Weezing. We have the super effective charge move of Play Rough, not Brutal Swing for this meta, because there's too many dragons out there. We got to hit them with that fairy damage, not that dark damage for the couple of ghost dragons that exist, even though Brutal Swing is a cheaper energy charge move, but at least Play Rough gets stabbed because of G-Weezing's Poison Fairy typing. Bang! Land the Play Rough there. Does not one-shot the Giratina's Altered remaining health because it's such a thick Pokemon, but we were able to put it in a range where we can essentially go for Overheat and also Overfarm. So Overheat will take it out. We're going to pivot to clear our debuff, save some of that energy for later, and hope that Genesect will be able to come through and finish off this match after we essentially flip the alignment. And oddly enough, that's not looking like it's going to be the case. Genesect starting to slowly hold us back, not getting the matchups against the Steels and the Fairy types that we wanted to. It keeps on going up against dragons that are going to give it a hard time. So we let an Octazooka come through. They don't get a debuff, which is huge. Our opponent pulls off a fantastic catch to catch his Magnet Bomb. I don't think this was going to do all that much damage to the opponent's Kingdra, so they might have wanted to let that Magnet Bomb come through and then potentially catch one of my other Pokemon's charge moves, but because of that, we now come in with our Fairies here. They get off another charge move. I decide to shield this. We can't Fairy Wind down, but I'm going to save that fire damage on the Slurpluff. I'm going to go into the G-Weezing here, throw the Overheat. This will take out the Registeel's remaining health. The Kingdra will come in, farm down the G-Weezing, we'll get to the Play Rough on our Slurpluff, and this will finish off the Kingdra. So again, having that solid combo damage of both Fire and Fairy as charge moves for these two, I think make them deadly for this Fantasy Cup meta. On that note, let me know the thoughts on the team comp, on the videos, on the battles. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Preach!